And once that happened, I realized that it was going to be a fight against Zionists. Full stop.
So Candace Owens just exposed the entire conservative media apparatus conspiring to control Charlie Kirk's legacy after his assassination, revealing how Zionist donors coordinate attacks against anyone asking questions. We're diving into her bombshell revelations about paid influencers, Netanyahu's suspicious denials, and the establishment takeover of conservative movement. Let's break this down.
They had all the money, they had all the donors, they have CBS News, they have the mainstream media, they had all the power, but we had the truth.
Notice the deliberate word choice here, publicly executed, not died or passed away. This frames what happened as an intentional political hit, setting up everything that follows about coordination and cover-up. The language matters when you're building a conspiracy case.
I think I was shocked, first and foremost, because Charlie was publicly executed, right? And so typically when I'm doing commentary, it's about someone I don't know, right? I'm removed from the subject, so I don't have to go through a personal grieving process.
The key word is swiftly, within hours, not days. People closest to Kirk were already spinning a narrative. That level of coordination doesn't happen organically. Someone had talking points ready to go before the body was cold.
So there were so many layers of my shock at the actual event, then the shock at how swiftly the people closest to him lied about where he was at in his perspectives.
Susie Wiles is Trump's current chief of staff, the ultimate establishment insider. Her immediately stepping in to eulogize Kirk signals this wasn't organic grief, but orchestrated political theater to control the message and claim ownership of his legacy.
So that's when I recognized immediately that there was a conspiracy here, because there is no reason. Of course, I was shocked by Bibi Netanyahu coming out right away and saying I didn't kill him. Like, that so totally makes you look not guilty.
This reveals the classic establishment playbook. Neutralize threats by co-opting their memory. The same people who blocked Kirk's rise suddenly become his closest friends to control how he's remembered and what his movement becomes.
Like, I think I realized that was this was going to be a fight against Zionists because they wanted the ghost of Charlie Kirk. Like, they were like, this is our ghost and we need to direct it so that there's energy behind Zionism and Israel.
Netanyahu's unprompted denial follows the classic guilty party pattern, answering questions nobody asked. It's the political equivalent of, I definitely wasn't at that location on that date, when no one mentioned a location or date.
Find somebody who will call Candace a demon, but has never once called Bibi Netanyahu a demon, and you will find that same person trying to protect the Charlie Kirk narrative.
This exposes the strategic calculus. Kirk's death created a martyr that could energize the base, but only if properly directed towards supporting Israel. Hence the vicious attacks on anyone questioning the official narrative or Kirk's true positions.
I don't think there's ever been a situation where things are less clear, and they are using the exact same psychological tactics that they used during BLM to shut down any inquiry about the George Floyd thing.
The irony is devastating. Kirk himself questioned the JFK assassination and warned about government lies, yet his own defenders demand blind faith in official stories. They're violating everything he stood for while claiming to honor him.
Well, no, the BLM side criminalized asking questions. If I said, well, maybe, and I did, where's all this money going to? Oh, how dare you? George Floyd died. You're ruining the legacy. It's racism. They're literally doing these exact same tactics.
Perfect consistency check. Kirk taught people to question COVID narratives, bat origins, and vaccine safety. But now questioning his death is somehow off limits? That's not honoring his legacy. It's betraying his core message about skepticism.
We can't possibly understand common sense. Like, it's so crappy. And the reality is that Turning Point USA wasn't built on this idea of experts and elitism, and it won't survive if it keeps continuing down this path.
This test reveals controlled opposition perfectly. Find someone who will attack fellow conservatives but never criticize Israel's actions. Those same people mysteriously appear defending the official Kirk narrative. Follow the money, find the coordination.
They've already lost all credibility. That's why they're fighting me so hard, is because, and what makes me so happy about them losing, because they are losing right now, right?
Desperate institutional attacks signal weakness, not strength. When your narrative is solid, it doesn't require coordinated media campaigns to defend it. The more aggressively they fight independent voices, the more they reveal their own crumbling authority structure.
They had Zionists, behind the scenes donors, make sure that I would not be allowed to eulogize Charlie Kirk. They had Eric Bolling go out and just lie and fictionalize and say Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019, despite how close we always were.
This reveals how donor influence shapes media participation. Major funders can blacklist people from eulogizing their own friends while placing friendly voices in prominent speaking slots. The coordination between money and messaging becomes visible when you follow the access patterns.
Actually, I had people inside of Prager University send me, which I'm going to publish later, the list of all of the influencers that are on PragerU's payroll alone that are being paid to come after me, which is like Graham Allen is quite literally one of these influencers.
Having documented proof of paid opposition campaigns changes everything. This isn't organic criticism or honest disagreement, it's purchased attacks. When influencers are literally on payroll to target specific individuals, that's corporate warfare disguised as political commentary.
But it should satisfy us that they had all of the money and all of the quote unquote influence in the mainstream media, and yet the people would rather watch ballistic guys on YouTube that say, nah, this didn't happen.
Independent creators consistently outperform institutional media despite massive resource disadvantages. Audiences trust authentic voices over manufactured authority. This represents a fundamental shift where credibility flows from truth-telling rather than institutional backing or financial resources.
So they had all the money, they had all the donors, they have CBS News, they have the mainstream media, they had all the power, but we had the truth. And truth is the only real power. And
truth ultimately defeats manufactured consensus because authentic credibility is self-reinforcing while institutional authority requires constant maintenance. When people stop believing in your legitimacy, all the money and media access becomes worthless. Reality always wins long term.